Welcome to Vitamin Be with me, Mohana. This is where we help you take control of your well-being. My guest today is Dhaval Bhadesiya, an all-in-one coach, a health and personal coach, a globally certified nutritionist, and sleep, rest, and recovery coach. I will be spending time with him today to understand one of the most crucial parts of our existence, sleep. A much ignored topic has become a growing concern around the world and in India very much. Is it true that everybody has to get up at 5 a.m. and everybody has then a healthy approach to sleeping?
If you understand or an analogy, you're putting your phone in an airplane mode. So if you look at the definition, what it says is now you're disconnecting yourself to the environment. We as human species have risked death over sleep.
India particularly has well over 60% of its population that can't sleep continuously in an undisturbed way for even 6 hours.
So it's a state of unconsciousness when a person can be brought to conscious with a stimuli. Longer you sleep, the amount of deep sleep continues to reduce.
So why are people not sleeping well these days?
There are people who can function with lesser amount of sleep. It's a genetic minority. But caffeine, this is research, does not make you smarter or productive. Okay, it just keeps you awake.
Does exercise benefit us in terms of better sleep?
A lot of people think if I drink alcohol, it helps me fall asleep faster.
But what's the linkage between depression, those anxiety, those kind of conditions in relation to sleep at large? So how do we improve our sleep? What are the great techniques that we can use for our well-being? And essentially understand the importance of sleep. So come join me in this fascinating world of sleep and this amazing conversation that I plan to have with Dhaval. Sit back, relax, and I'll see you at Vitamin Be with me now. Hi Vitamin B community. We have always been very bullish about your health and your well-being. And I'm super happy today to be launching the very first merchandise which I know will make a difference to each one of us, which is the Vitamin B Granola. This granola has been in the making for over 2 years now, with our core team having it on a daily basis. So we felt it was important to spread the awareness and ensure each one of you has the opportunity to taste it and improve your health. Get your first pack, order now, and we are available in Namma Bengaluru, where we have a number of customers who have already promised us and validated that this product is truly nutritious. So check out the comments box where you have an opportunity to place your order in the link provided, or reach us on Instagram DM to get your first bag of Vitamin B Granola. I'll see you soon. Stay tuned, be healthy, and be confident. So welcome to Vitamin B with me, Dhaval. It's amazing to have you here.
Thank you. Pleasure and honor.
How are you feeling today?
Awesome, as always.
As always, right? Every person who comes in the field of fitness is always arriving on time. They look great. They look so fresh. So what's your mantra, basically?
Be fit, right?
Be fit, right? Yeah. So are you someone who gets up very early?
I do. Yes.
You do. Okay.
5
o'clock. So we'll talk about that, right? The 5 o'clock problem, right? For everybody that's around. So Dhaval, I was very fascinated when we first spoke. We had a common friend who's basically introduced us. And it was very interesting that you have so many different certifications, which actually makes it very holistic. So right from personal coaching to health coaching to nutrition to actually sleep, rest and recovery. This is what I've learned. And it's globally certified. So it's wonderful that you put all that effort. And I love to call out the fact that you also were in a job before. And it's wonderful to see Indians who are taking a step, taking that risk and doing your own stuff, right? So that's great. So what got you into fitness? Let's start with that.
It did happen long ago, right? It was not like one day I realized, oh, corporate life sucks and I need to get into fitness.
Yeah.
Like I've been working out since I was 18, 19.
Yeah.
Okay. And then because you're doing something, you learn something. And when I started it, it was like say 99, 2000. So
Yeah.
there's no internet and everything on your phone, right? I don't even have pictures of my initial workouts because there was no camera phone there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just like, oh, now I'm going to the gym, I'm
Hmm.
working out. So you ask people, learn what to eat, what to do, what to lift, what not to do, all of that. And then internet came, we got amazing access. I was working in IT for 15
Yeah.
years. So you learn and you get more curious, and then you once you get to a certain level, then you start to realize that, hey, you know what people think versus what science says, probably there is a disconnect.
Yeah.
Now, the only way to bridge is by getting yourself into that system. That you want to change the system, be the system or become part of the system. That's where I started with teaching people exercise. And then I was teaching exercise and nutrition came in.
Yeah.
Then the behavior change and the science of psychology came in. Then, okay, sleep, stress,
So
recovery came in.
fascinating, right?
So one after another, you feel there is one piece of puzzle missing. And then there is this internal drive or curiosity saying, hey, let me find it.
Yeah.
Let me find it.
Yeah.
That's how it started.
Amazing. And if I gauge correctly, because of the number of conversations that I have, I know that more and more of us are getting sicker, and we're getting sicker faster. 20 years younger in age compared to the West. So unfortunate. But at the same time, I do see a lot of people more keen and interested in taking care of their health. So from the time that you started, Dhaval, have you seen that more and more people are saying, hey, I want to do something about my health?
In a way, yes.
Hmm.
Okay. Especially post COVID. Okay. Because that was a big shock that
Yeah.
all of us got, right? Everybody was grounded. No privilege did work. No amount of money work. No amount of comfort work. You are in your house, doesn't matter, right?
Hmm.
And then we realized that how our health and whole life is kind of fragile, right? We actually got the first hand experience of it. We probably lost some friends, some loved ones as well. So that kind of was a shock.
Yeah.
And from that time onward, I see the awareness part, like somebody like you who's bringing in different experts coming in, people watching and listening to this,
Yeah.
is going up. So we are getting better than what we were. That's
Okay.
for sure.
Okay.
Like we hardly had gyms when I started,
Yeah.
versus now, like every 2 kilometers we have one.
But I must say, like most of my life, I would be called as one beer girl because I wouldn't just go beyond that, and they would laugh at me. Many times I've not been invited. So when you're actually somebody who cares about your health, you want to probably have a little more organized life, you have to give up friends. And a lot of times, your social life is what is actually incidentally getting you into,
Right. So this is a good point. In
Yeah.
fact, like I've had a very detailed conversation with one of my clients one to one on this.
Yeah.
Number one, if you realize some of your best friends don't care whether you drink or not. Okay, people who care about you don't care about
Whether you drink or
whether you drink or not. And lot of these things comes, especially in corporate life, especially if you're in sales and marketing, with that pressure of, hey, you know what, if you don't drink with people, you will not gel. Now, that's not true.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not true. Yeah, some people may feel it that way, and probably these are your inner insecurities that come in that, hey, if I don't do this, I may not belong. Like I could be, drinking water with my friends and I could still be friends.
Yeah.
So it's something internal as well. But as soon as you start calling it out and say, hey, you know what? Like, for example, if I always give this example, if somebody is vegetarian, a giant, are you going to force him in your house to have chicken?
Yeah.
No. Does it, oh, this guy is giant, he's not my friend? No, nothing like that happens, right? Because we accept and respect their choice.
Yeah.
Same as with drinks, with anything. Like you don't want, you don't want. You want it in a particular limit or a control.
Yeah, and I think a lot of your own growth has to be about your self-awareness, who you are, what are your boundaries, right? And healthy boundaries. And choose your friends who encourage that, right? That's such an important aspect to overall health, right?
Right. So that's where, as you said, boundaries, right? What you're talking about friends is actually more of colleagues. These are not your childhood friends.
True.
These are colleagues. These people you have met after you're 18, 20, 25 in your corporate world. So technically they're not friends. They're colleagues who actually try to get closer. Some of them do, some of them don't.
Yeah.
Now here is the thing. most people who actually have stronger boundaries are respected well. Hey, this guy knows his boundary. Like, I guard my boundary.
Yeah.
Right? And I suddenly might not be, what do you say, too good or too
Cool.
soft, too cool to some people, but they definitely inside have a respect that this guy knows what he's doing,
Yeah.
why he's doing, and is very clear.
Yeah.
Versus somebody calls you here for a drink in the morning, you're here, afternoon you're
Oh, that's
here,
so-
there you're here, and then you're like, okay, I've lost everything in my life. Nobody respects you for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the whole.
Yeah, superb. I love the way we've started because it's a very core part of how we function and have an attitude towards health at large, right? It's really about knowing yourself, having your clear boundaries, choosing the right community as well. So let's start with what you just mentioned. Is it true that everybody has to get up at 5 a.m. and everybody has then a healthy approach to sleeping?
Good question. Now, I know there is huge 5 a.m. club fan. If you are in the entrepreneurship and hustle, everybody says, oh, wake up early, get your work done before everybody wakes up. Now, it's true that yes, it does help if you like it.
Yeah.
But two things. It's one, genetics as well as psychology. Okay. There are certain people whose energy level actually pick up after 2 or 3 p.m. in the evening. And they actually tend to work better from, say, 11 to 1 at night.
Yeah.
Genetically, they have such genes that work that way.
Yeah.
There are people who are like, hey, 5 a.m. Like, if I have to get anything done, I would decide 5 a.m. or even 4 a.m. on that day. Like, hey, I have very important things to get done. I'll wake up early. That's where I think I'm at my best to focus, to get the deep work done. For some people, it's late night. Okay. So it's purely one based on research. And second, up to a lot of extent, you can also train yourself either to get up early or to stay back late.
Yeah.
So it's training that you can also kind of, slowly go this way or that way, both. So one, it's not true that everybody has to wake up at 5 a.m. to be their most productive, because if somebody is listening to this, probably if you know somebody, there will be people who would feel like crap if you wake them up at 5. And I know somebody personally.
Yeah.
They are. And again, if you force them, you're actually not doing any good to them or their productivity. So
yeah, and that's so fair, right? Because every human body is very different. I do understand the linkage to your circadian rhythm, the fact that you follow the sun, all of that is healthy. But unless you practice it, like you said, unless you've already practiced, conditioned your body, it could be detrimental to do it all of a sudden, right? Yeah.
Even if you talk about circadian rhythm and being more naturalistic, if you look at our primitive life, I'm talking about primitive life without any artificial light or anything.
Yeah.
We still had people who had to stay away to guard the people who could sleep, because a beast would come in and eat you up.
Yeah.
Okay. So even then, we had people who would wake up early, work in an early shift, stay back late, and work in a late shift to guard everybody else who is actually resting and recovering. So we will need all kind of people in life.
Very nice. I think these are really points that one can connect with, and it's happened in the past, right? So what is sleep, Dhaval? Like, what exactly is sleep? What's going on in our, like the fact that it affects our well-being, and it becomes such an important topic. And some data, like we always talk, right? You and I have shared this before, that research is always continuing. Right. But the most recent numbers say that India particularly has well over 60% of its population that can't sleep continuously in an undisturbed way for even 6 hours. So really, what is sleep? Let's help our audience understand, and why does it matter?
So sleep, in simple way, maybe if you understand, or an analogy, you're putting your phone in an airplane mode. Okay. So if you look at the definition, what it says is, now you're disconnecting yourself to the environment. Okay. So it's a state of unconsciousness when a person can be brought to conscious with a stimuli. That's sleep. That's a definition for you.
Yeah.
Right? But if you look at sleep as a process, it's very, very complicated. Okay. Like we talk about multiple stages and all of that. A lot of things happens when you sleep.
Mm.
So there are multiple aspects of it, but one thing we know for sure, it is essential. And if we put it in this way, we as human species have risked death over sleep.
Interesting.
How? Like, for example, we go to the primitive days. I always say, think about a caveman, think about a primitive human. Like, if you sleep, a beast could come and kill you.
Mm.
Still, we have been sleeping from the history that mankind knows.
Yeah, true.
So, death versus sleep, we've still chosen sleep because it is essential. It's not optional.
Nice. Very nice.
Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Since you talked about the stages and the complicated stages of sleep, right? Maybe we'll move to that. What are the stages of sleep, and help us understand really, I think it's so critical because there, like from when you're depressed to you're tired, just the fact that you sleep, and more recently obesity, there's so much research about the fact that you sleep, it burns fat also, it helps you burn fat. What is going on in the 4 stages of sleep?
Okay. The first, you understand there are 2 stages. Okay. What we call it as REM and non-REM.
Sure.
If you just broadly do it. So REM is what we call it as rapid eye movement.
Yeah.
And non-rapid eye movement is also designed or sometimes, called as deep sleep.
Sure.
Even in the deep sleep, we have multiple stages. Okay, that we go through. But if you look at it from a common man's perspective, how your sleep happens. So for the time, say for example, you go to your bed.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to sleep. So first you are awake. That's your awakened state. Then you get into a stage which is actually also called N1. This is where from being awake, you're transitioning to being asleep. So awake and asleep, but there is one transition phase that happens for the first time when you go to sleep.
Okay.
Once you go to sleep, then there are multiple stages your body goes through. The deep sleep, then it comes back to REM, then it goes to deep sleep, comes back to REM.
Okay.
Deep sleep, come back to REM.
Okay.
So this is how your body goes through the cycles of deep sleep, rapid eye movement, deep sleep, rapid eye movement, deep sleep, rapid eye movement. So that's how it happens.
Okay.
Longer you sleep, the amount of deep sleep continues to reduce.
Okay.
And the rapid eye movement increases. That's why most of your rapid eye movement is the place or the time where you're dreaming.
Sure.
That's why your dreams are mostly early in the morning.
And which happens later.
Which happens later because you've slept for 6 hours and then you remember your dream, something that happens early in the morning. Otherwise, you won't remember.
So the deeper and the longer you sleep, the possibility of dreaming comes forth.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that actually brings to a very, very critical point. Most people think that deep sleep is all I need. Okay. You also need rapid eye movement, the REM sleep. However, there is still a lot of research being done on what exactly it does to you. A lot of memory formation happens when you are doing the rapid eye movement. And if you see, sometimes you see strange things happening in your dream.
Yeah.
Like a person from your office who has never met a person from your family, both of them are together in a third place that they've never been. All of them come together in your memory.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is happening here is all different pieces of your memory are actually talking to each other, get jumbled up. Now it feels like a jumble. But the thing is, this is where creativity comes from. Like, what is creativity? You take idea from one field, apply it to the other, and both of them come together. That's creativity, right?
Yeah.
So you get this together, and third thing, a new thing comes, the innovation.
Yeah.
That's where the creativity comes from. So without REM, it's difficult to be creative.
So in a different way, yes, people say that your traumas, your memories, your subconscious thoughts, they surface. Maybe unconscious thoughts come in your dreams. There's a lot of study on dreams itself, right? But having said that, what you're also saying is it possibly suggests that your creative angle, your memory formation also happens in REM, the REM part of the sleep. Okay. Great. So if I was just a listener, right, essentially I'm awake, I transition into the state of sleep, which is called N1. And then I ideally should go into deep sleep. It alternates with deep sleeping, REM, deep sleeping, REM. Would deep sleep be NREM? Would you?
Non-REM, yeah.
That's not
Non-REM.
REM, then it's REM.
Then
So
REM.
it is deep sleep.
Yeah.
You need both, and the longer you actually get into deep sleep states, then you basically start dreaming, which then sort of has your body functioning in a way where your memory formations, your creativity, all that is getting energized in the process of sleep.
Exactly. So the thing is, say for example, you take 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
First 4 hours of sleep, you will spend lot more time in a deep sleep. Next 4 hours, you will have lot more time of non-REM. So another thing, probably a myth buster, a lot of time we would have heard people that our sleep cycles are 90-minute cycles, and you always keep it in 90. Now that's true. Again, that's an average that we see, but it could be 60 to 110 minutes.
Sure.
So every 60 minutes or around every 90 minutes to that 110 minutes, 60 to 110 minutes is one cycle
of NREM and REM.
So the whole cycle. So you go through that cycle. In the first cycle, say for example, 90% of them is deep sleep.
Yeah.
10% is non-deep, REM sleep. Then the next time, probably 80% is deep, 20% is REM.
Okay.
So more cycles you go through, deep sleep reduces and REM sleep increases.
Okay, so REM sleep is essential. The body, through the process of sleeping for those many hours, is actually preparing you for REM sleep itself.
Exactly.
So REM is very important.
Right.
Okay. Wow. So tell me, Dhaval, now that we understand the process of sleep, right? It's very simplified. I love the way you've actually shared it as well. Some friends, some folks, and normally you'll hear this, right? They'll sleep for 5 hours and they wake up so refreshed. Whereas someone like me, I've always needed 8 hours. Okay, and I'm like, I don't get this, and it's torturous. Like in a country like India, where they told you should not be sleeping so long. It's very important to sleep less. Now we know otherwise. But I always felt better when I slept, and I got my 7 to 8 hours. But what goes on? How is it that that person functions with lesser sleep so well, and I can't?
Good question. Again, people expect one quick right answer. There is no one right answer. So the answer that people want, okay, is genetically these people are designed that way. Now it is true, but it's a genetic minority. There are people who can function with lesser amount of sleep, but it's a genetic minority. So one, genetically you could be, or somebody else could be part of that, and they're like, okay, 5 hours is good for me. Generally, based on more broader, deeper research, most people will not function at their best less than 7 hours. Okay, so 7 to 9 is always a range that we talk about, because that's where most people do well. So one, genetically it could be. Second thing is, what is their level of stress, or what we call it as allostatic load.
Okay.
Like in my life, everything is hunky-dory. I am not that stressed. I don't need so much of rest and repair and recovery. Versus for somebody's life, it's crazy like hell. They're firefighting all day from the time they wake up till they go to bed. They need a lot more time to rest and recover from the stress. So again, we can't compare what their life is versus ours, because I don't know anything about your life. You don't know anything about my life. So we can't just say, hey, that guy is sleeping 5 hours. Why can't I?
Very nice
Because you're not
point.
him. You're not him or her. Third thing is your perceived sense. This is where the psychology comes in. Like, as you said, there is certain things that tells you that you can't function without it. Like I can't myself. Like I block my sleep and I fight tooth and nail to protect that time. But some people think that they can with 5 hours, just because that they think the sense itself actually helps them ignore all the problems, pains and challenges that they face because of lack of sleep. So all three play a role.
Very interesting. I love the second point, because I think that just makes us human beings, right? That we know that when you're experiencing high level of stress, you do need to take your time off. Sleep can be a very, very important way to sort of come out of your stressors. Very, very essential point. So I really, really thought that was very valuable as well. So for all the young listeners, right, who are getting a lot of peer pressure, I think they should just sleep. They should understand that their way of approaching is very different from anybody else's as well.
One, like, that's what I say, like, every individual is different, and this is what is right now also a problem with internet, because all of us doing these
Yeah.
podcasts and sharing our knowledge, most people take it as a prescription.
Yeah.
And everybody listening right now, including to whatever I'm saying, don't take it as a prescription.
Yeah.
Take it as a guideline. Take it as a broad range of things that could happen.
Yeah.
And everybody is different. Like, we talk about athletes, right? We have seen athletes, if they slept 10 hours, we're talking about like highly active people, international level athletes, their performances improve.
Interesting.
And right now, like, if you don't know, there is a lot of data which is available handy. For example, like, I wear this Whoop band, right? We have these devices which gives you a very good picture. Like, I agree, and I would tell everybody, these guys are not that accurate as they claim to be.
Yeah.
No device
Yeah.
right now, wearables are not as accurate as all the manufacturers claim.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they do give you a very good insight into what's happening.
Yeah.
And you can always look at a trend.
Yeah.
I slept for 5 hours. What was my heart rate? I slept for 8 hours. What was my heart rate? Now, heart rate 88 might not be exact 88, but if it was 88
Yeah.
here and now it is 68, I know it is down by 20. So the trend is something I can always pick up and say, hey, it's getting better because my resting heart rate needs to come down. That's where I'm going to be
Yeah.
better. I don't want to be racing all the time.
Yeah.
My heart also needs time to be at
Yeah.
the rest. So this is where these wearables actually help.
Yeah.
If you know how
Yeah.
to use the data correctly.
And particularly the point that comes to my mind, Dhaval, is that, for those who are not able to sleep well and those who have a very stressful life and they have something else going on, it's not a bad idea to try this, because at the end of the day, sleep is also, it's beating your assumption that I am sleeping well or I'm not. And that really gives you data to manage it, right, at the end of the day.
Exactly. But as I always say, see, data could be dual edged.
Sure.
Okay, number one, now these trackers are like, see, good ones are expensive, but we still have cheap ones available as well, which
Yeah.
will still give you some data, some
Yeah.
detail. But data, do you have the skills and ability to, one, interpret the data?
Yeah.
Because you if you don't know how to use that data and interpret the data, it's a problem. Second thing, if you are somebody who gets freaked out with those numbers and data, that, oh shit, I just slept 5 hours, now I can't.
And that causes you more stress.
Right. And
Yeah.
now you're like, oh, I'm more stressed. So now what happens is the perceived sense of stress increases,
Correct.
which means you're now looking at an opportunity to get stressed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that, like, data could be dual edged.
Yeah.
If you personally, number one, have capacity to take data as a pure play feedback.
Yeah.
Hey, this is the feedback. This was my sleep. This is what happened. This was my sleep. This is what happened. Now I'm objectively looking at
Yeah.
it, and then I should have ability to interpret. If this happens, is it good? If this happens, it is bad. And then the third part, the biggest part, is action. What am I doing about the data?
Yeah.
Like, this data told me that I function amazingly well if I sleep 8 hours.
Yeah.
Now, what am I doing to create that space for 8 hours
Yeah.
so that I'm
Yeah.
going to sleep 8
Yeah.
hours? So it's all, linked,
Yeah.
not just data. Like, this guy will give you a prompt every day morning. This is how your sleep was.
Yeah.
But
So critical, right? And all really, really valuable points. So why are people not sleeping well these days?
good question. You should ask people. But again, the thing is, number one, off late, and somehow I think in India for a very long period of time, because of the culture, somehow it has happened that sleep has been always like, whoever sleeps is termed lazy, okay, or unmotivated or whatever.
Yeah.
So now that label itself creates so much of social pressure
Yeah.
that, hey, I should not sleep. Second thing is, if you look at the amount of distractions that we have in our
Yeah.
life, which keeps us away from sleep, right? Like, I'm 42. when I was in my teens and in my 20s, the TV channels also were not 24 by 7.
That's so true.
Right?
Yeah.
If I had to watch a movie, it starts at 9 o'clock. I better be there in front of the screen at 9.
Yeah.
After 9:20, I don't even know what's the name of the movie, and the movie gets over.
Yeah.
Right?
So true.
Now it's 2 p.m. or 2 a.m. I can switch on Netflix, search for the movie that I want, and start.
So fundamentally, are you saying that's what is going on?
Absolutely.
It's a digital overload.
See, access to data, access to information, access to devices, access to people. Everything is increased. Now, how many times would you have expected somebody sending you a message 20 years ago at 2 a.m.? Now you check your WhatsApp at 2 a.m., right? You check your emails at 2 a.m. Like when I started working, once I close the laptop or shut down my PC, I come home. Till next day I go to office, I don't care what happened. Now, every few minutes I would open my phone and say, oh shit, there is an email. Now I need to go and reply. Now I may not even be able to reply or do anything about that email right now till I go to office next day. But now I know that there is a problem, which is going to go back in my head. And if there is a firefighting, which almost always happens because somewhere somebody has screwed up and you're supposed to go and get it fixed. Especially if you're in a senior position, then that's what it is. If you're in a junior position, then your boss is expecting you to go and fix it. So it's always that, right? So we have so many different avenues to get ourselves distracted and not sleep. If you look at there was a time of Doordarshan, but after 9 p.m. only thing that you see was black and white rain on the screen. Okay, what would you do? You go back and sleep. Now you have an option, and you also need to understand that these options are one. There is the option available. Second, what we are also trying to do is cope from the stress. Every time you're opening up Netflix, you're opening up Insta Shorts or YouTube Shorts or Reels and all that stuff, what are you doing? You're trying to distract yourself from the problem that you have. And you go to bed. Like I know a lot of people that I work with and like, hey, they were like, go to bed and I'm like, okay, 5 minutes, I'll check my Insta and I just realize it's 2 hours.
Yeah. Oh God, it's very addictive.
Right?
Yeah, it is very addictive.
Because dopamine spike, every reel, it spike.
Probably the wrong time to have it, right?
Right. But the thing is, see, you had a stressful day. Like, see, I'm not legitimizing that, but this is how most people think. I've had a stressful day. Now I just want to sit, relax for 10 minutes, look at what's happening on Insta, look at what's happening on Facebook, or watch some good movie or some series or whatever. But now that interface is designed to keep you hooked there, and then you suddenly realize it's 2 hours gone. Now, see, that is gone. You got to now sleep. You still have to wake up same time next day and go to office.
Correct. Yeah.
So that's where now the sleep time is shortened. The other thing, because we don't consider sleep as an asset, and this is where I will quote a book called Essentialism. If anybody is listening, it's New York Times bestseller.
We'll add it in the
right. Essentialism. Read that book or directly go to chapter number 8 on Audible. Okay, quicker to get it. Go to chapter number 8. He talks about protect your most important asset, and that's sleep. The thing is, we don't consider them as an asset, and a lot of times the corporates don't consider that as an asset. Is it okay for anybody working in corporate, including you and me, we have done that, to come home late because we had meetings and work? Yes. Okay. We've all done that.
We've done it.
We've done that. Like, it's acceptable in the society, in the corporate culture. Is it okay if I missed my meeting because I overslept for 2 hours?
It's not okay.
Why? Like, on one side, you want to come and eat up my sleep, and it's acceptable, it's okay. On the other side, one day, my sleep eats up office time. Why is it not okay? So that's a mindset.
Absolutely.
Right? So we haven't really given it an enough value. And if you look at some of the modern organizations, and I'm talking about some, CEOs and leaders who are like thought leaders,
like very progressive,
thought leaders, progressive, who understand, they actually are absolutely okay with it. Okay, they say protect your asset. If you can work 2 hours extra today, It's okay, go back home, take some time off.
Yeah.
Recover from the stress that you've gone through. And that's where, again, it's not just personally for me. Now I'll ask you or anybody else listening. If you just had 2 to 5 hours of sleep, and you go to office, how do you actually show up to work? How is your brain working? How is your productivity? How is your mood? How is your energy level with that? Now, if you showed up with that energy versus you showed up 2 hours late with full energy, how would the work?
There's a huge difference. And the irony is that whenever anybody wants to go more cash strapped and save or create efficiency, let me put it that way, right? That organizations do continuously. The first thing they will do is they will stop the benefits. They don't realize that when it's a tough time, that's what you need to provide to the employee to function better, so they perform better when you have a difficult time, right? You take away things that actually make them feel better about their health, their well-being, and their time away. It's very, very distorted. So all your employee engagement, all those aspects are very confused in organizations at this point. And there's a lot of time that will companies need to evolve a lot more. I think that's fundamentally what it is.
Absolutely, and that's what makes the difference between good companies
and great
companies. If you listen to some of the thought leaders, the organizational leaders like Adam Grant, Simon Sinek, you look at them, they talk about taking care of your most important asset, which is people. If you take care of them, they'll take care of your business. And if they can take care of their own health, then they are capable enough to do it. See, if I came to this place with just 2 hours of sleep, what kind of energy, enthusiasm would I have to really talk to you and answer? I'm like, okay, happens, doesn't, like,
your vibe is very different.
Exactly.
Fair enough. So I want to sort of get into the world of habits, right? And there are a number of scenarios that we've broken it up into, right, Dhaval? So I want to start with habits towards sleep disruption, right? So for example, one of the key things that most of us do is we end up drinking water a lot, even till we sleep, right? I have like a warm glass of water, and many days you get up in the middle and you want to hit the bathroom and come back. But then you take time to actually recover and recover to sleep. Literally it's an effort. And I know my morning is not that effective compared to when I've actually just crashed out. So what's going on there and how do we make it more effective?
Right. So see, when it comes to that part, as you know, if you know something is stopping you from that good sleep, you can always prepone it. Hey, you know what, I want to drink enough water. I probably do it in the first half of the day, not the second half of the day, so I don't have to take those pee breaks, middle of the night. Number one. Second, even if you have to take those, what you do is you go to the washroom, come back, get back to sleep. But the problem is when you wake up, exactly, you're going to pick up that and say, oh, who sent me a message? Now, some people are very wise and clever. They look at who sent me a message. They say, I don't check the message itself. Another thing is your brain has a curiosity thing clicked.
Okay.
Somebody sent me a message. Like Mona sent me a message. What is it going to be about? Are we meeting at the same time? Is the meeting changed? It's better you actually read the email or the message rather than keeping it. And now you're starting to think. So you go there, come back, sleep, it's fine. But you get up in the night, and if at all you switched on your phone, tablet or TV, good luck. You've actually created an environment for your brain to be awake. And now you have to follow the same procedure that you had earlier.
Very nice. I love it. So there's nothing wrong if you just take a pee break, come back, crash out.
So if you have to, you have to. Okay. And as the age passes by, a lot of elders will have to. Okay, it will happen because your bladder control and everything starts to deteriorate with age. So you will have to. Now you can't again, call that as an obstacle. Like you try to do whatever you can. Like I don't say don't drink water, then you are dehydrated. So you drink in the first half, you reduce it in the second half, and if you have to take a break, it's okay. Just go to washroom, come back, sleep.
Got it. So sleep disruption was one of the key parts of it, right? And darker rooms, controlled environments always really facilitate sleep, right?
Right. So So this is where, anybody who's looking to improve the quality, I'll say these are some principles you've got to follow. Number one, if you can, and most people should be able to, if you can have a regular sleeping time. Now it could be, you could be early to bed, early to rise, you could be late, as like going to bed at 2, but then keep it safe.
Yeah.
If bedtime is 11, then it is 11. So 11 to 7, 11 to 7. That's my time, that's my time. So every day what you're doing is you're now putting your brain and your body in this cycle of 24 hours to do the same thing.
Sure.
That's number one. Second is you create an environment which, what do you say, facilitates a better sleep.
Yeah.
One, light, because we all know circadian rhythm. Like,
Yeah.
we talk about devices. Like, one of the other problem with devices, as soon as the light hits your eye, the signal your brain gets is sun is up.
Yeah.
Melatonin production drops.
Mm.
So keep the room dark. Second, temperature cooler. Noise. So you look at your senses. I'll say you have 5 senses.
Yeah.
All 5 senses.
Yeah.
Eyes, dark. Ears, mute.
Yeah.
Noise free. Skin or the temperature, low. Right? Nose, either keep it odor free or some good essential oils in a diffuser. Avoid the candles or something because of the smoke that it generates, but diffuser with water.
Yeah.
So this is how you create an environment.
Yeah.
And the fifth one is your brain. A lot of people comes and says, hey, you know what, I go to bed, but it takes a lot of time for me to go to sleep because a lot of things are going in my head.
Yeah.
Now this is where brain dump and journaling helps. Keep a notepad and a pen next to you. Just write down whatever your thoughts are, whatever your to-do list is. So now one of the things that you're doing is, because you have to write, you're slowing your brain to the speed of your writing.
Nice. Nice. I didn't know.
Rather than it actually go in, because otherwise your brain goes fast.
Yeah.
You're slowing it down. Second, because you're writing your to-do list, now you have this sense that I'm not going to forget. So there is no stress to remember. It's written.
Nice.
And even if there are other thoughts other than to-do list, once it is written, it's like I have shared it with somebody.
Yeah.
So the load actually comes down. It doesn't matter whether you read it next day or not.
Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful. In fact, every time I sat and made a task list, so to say, for the next day, I could sleep better. Yeah. But I didn't know that it's also in the process sort of warming me up towards better sleep as well.
Right. Because now, see, what you're doing is, it's like shutting down your computer.
Yeah.
Like, I'm an IT guy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like shutting down your computer. When you shut down, what you're doing is whatever is in your RAM, which is random access memory, alive, you're putting it all stored in the permanent memory, which is your read-only memory, your hard drive, right? Yeah. So you're putting everything there. Now you put everything there, it's safe to shut down.
Fascinating. I think it's so simple, but most people are struggling to do that, right? So let's jump to foods and drinks. Are there anything that you're observing that people who don't sleep well are ending up drinking and eating? The other aspect is eating late and it impacts your sleep, etc. So what's your commentary on that aspect? How, in terms of how it impairs sleep?
Everything that people know. Number one, caffeine. Okay.
Yeah.
Caffeine. Number one, I think I want to tell people is caffeine can make you awake, but caffeine, this is research, does not make you smarter or productive.
Sure.
Okay, it just keeps you awake. Second thing, caffeine interrupts your sleep.
Yeah.
Okay, now think of it like, and I'll explain it in an analogy so people can understand.
Yeah.
How do you fall asleep?
Yeah.
So there is one process which is based on what we call it as adenosine. So people talk about ATP as a currency of muscles and cells.
Yeah.
So that adenosine, your brain has receptors. When all the receptors are full, that's why your brain gets the most sleepier. Think about it as a parking lot. You have a parking lot which has capacity of 200 cars. Okay. Now there is a gatekeeper. He said 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you have 200 cars, you shut the gate and say parking closed. Now I'll sleep. Now caffeine actually crosses the blood-brain barrier, crosses the gatekeeper, and parks itself in place of the cars. Now gatekeeper is counting the cars and say, I just got 100 cars.
Yeah.
That still need to be open because I can put 100 more. But those 100 spots are filled with caffeine.
Yeah.
So adenosine cannot go in there, so you cannot sleep,
Wow.
right? So caffeine interrupts your sleep.
Yeah.
If you can keep your caffeine in the first half of the day, or 6 to 8 hours away from your bedtime based on, again,
Right,
early
yeah.
morning,
Yeah.
night owl, or whoever you are, then it helps you sleep better.
So essentially, are you noticing that those who have sleep issues, they do tend to take caffeine towards the evenings?
Not just towards the evening, but the overall dosage of caffeine. See, here is what happens. You stay back up late,
Yeah.
okay? Now you wake up, you're not fresh. You're not feeling awake. What do? Where's my coffee?
Yeah.
So tea, coffee, Red Bull, all energy drinks with caffeine. Now, throughout the day, every 2-3 hours, because you've not slept well, your brain is not in the condition to be really productive. You're slowing down, you're not getting it, but you got to be awake.
Yeah.
So what do? Coffee, coffee, coffee. You down 6, 8, 10 coffee
Yeah.
in a day.
Yeah.
Now, what you have done is you build up so much of caffeine. Now, till that caffeine is released,
Yeah.
and the space for adenosine is created, you're not going to get sleep.
Yeah. Now this is a very good point. It's not just about having caffeine later in the night, but it's how much did you have in the day also.
Exactly,
Right?
the overall. And
Great.
then you can't sleep. Now, because you can't sleep, next day you haven't finished your sleep.
So you need caffeine again.
So now you need caffeine again. So you get yourself into this downward spiral.
Yeah.
So slowly and gradually, if you
Yeah.
can start reducing and keeping it in the first half of the day, you're giving yourself a best chance to be able to
I think that's
sleep.
superb, and that's very helpful to understand the process, right? Because I remember having a coffee down the road with a friend at 4, and you would think that a person who sleeps at 11, you'll be okay. But that whole night, both of us couldn't sleep because I think they had jacked it up so much with such strong coffee. So you need to be aware, right? You wouldn't understand it if you're not aware of it as well. And then I wouldn't go back there, or I'd go for a morning coffee or something like that, right? So yeah, these are such simple, practical things to be aware of. I want to talk about exercise and the role it has towards us having optimal sleep.
Right. So we'll talk about exercise, but do you actually want to talk about the other things that impact sleep?
Yeah, of course.
The other most important thing, a lot of people think that it helps sleep.
Okay.
Alcohol.
Okay. Oh,
lot,
right. Yeah, we'll get
right.
back to that. Sure.
So alcohol.
Yeah.
A lot of people think if I drink alcohol,
yeah,
it helps me fall asleep faster.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, it's true. It's not entirely true. Number one, alcohol can make you fall asleep faster, but you are probably a lot of time not sleeping. You're sedated.
It's a sedative, exactly. Yeah.
Number one. Second, what it does is it actually takes you to the deep sleep faster. Okay, so what we call it as the sleep latency comes down. You can sleep faster, but as soon as it starts metabolizing in your liver, it actually wakes you up. And your time in REM, rather than being in that, the dream zone or the rapid eye movement zone, it actually wakes you up.
Got it.
So there you have too much of alcohol, you actually wake up much earlier than 8-10 hours.
I could not agree more, and completely dehydrated as well.
That's the second part.
Right? Yeah.
So alcohol can help you sleep faster, but does not improve the quality and the quantity of your sleep. So that's one thing that you actually want to avoid.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people I know think that it's actually helping them sleep better, so they do it. And unfortunately,
countries are cultural to have a drink and then go to sleep, and they have wine and stuff. There's a lot of mixed data on.
No, the data is clear. Science is clear on that. But the thing is, how used to you are, and are you okay with that? Like everybody knows smoking kills, but I'm okay with smoking, then I will continue to do it, right? So data is clear, alcohol does not.
Yeah.
And this is for people who want to make a decision based on that, right?
Yeah.
If you still make a decision like, I don't care, I'm still going to have it.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
So alcohol.
So caffeine, alcohol, and?
So caffeine definitely does not let you sleep, so you know that. There could be few lucky people, genetically lucky, who got the lottery, that caffeine does not impact their sleep, they can sleep.
Sure.
But alcohol, definitely this is what happens.
Yeah.
The third thing is food,
Mm.
right? Now, contrary to the popular belief, especially people who are trying to lose weight,
Yeah.
do not eat carbs at night. Research has proven that having protein and carbs actually improve the quality of sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because protein has an amino acid called tryptophan, which is precursor to serotonin and melatonin.
Nice. Mm.
From the chemical perspective, if you have good protein rich diet all day, and I've seen a lot of people that I work with, and as soon as we help them get enough protein, immediately, hey, my sleep has improved.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Because now you are providing natural raw material to create melatonin.
Yeah. Yeah.
So protein and even carbs, carbs can actually help you reduce the sleep latency, which means it can help you fall asleep faster. This is where people feel sleepy after a chicken biryani.
Yeah, absolutely. But in an optimal way, it's helpful also.
In a way, it is, but you don't have to have two
So much
chicken
of
biryani
carb.
in order to do that.
Yeah.
But yes, so
Yeah.
these are like some times people think that, oh, I should not have carb at night. It's not actually true. It can actually help you fall asleep.
That's always about the quantity, right?
Right.
Yeah.
See, all of these things matter. So we're not getting into the nutritional,
Correct.
the
Correct.
quantity and the weight loss and weight gain and all that part.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you're finding it difficult to fall asleep while trying to cut down carbs, it's wise to actually get some amount of carbs back into your diet. You will feel much more safer and go to bed faster. So this is on the food. And the fourth thing is, like we talk about the circadian rhythm, food also acts as a precursor to our body clock.
Okay.
If your bedtime is 11, eating 3 to 4 hours before that actually helps you go to bed better.
So that's something that
again, these are all valid research proven over a period of time. So there are no contradictions here. Again, if the only contradiction to a lot of people with this 3-4 hour gap would be like, I eat early and then I go to gym and work out. Okay. Now you've created a huge demand for energy and all that stuff, and that would create a problem. Then you need a small meal before you go to bed. But more often or not, this is what
this is for most people who don't do that.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about exercise. Does exercise benefit us in terms of better sleep?
Yes. And especially if you do it in the first half of the day. Because second half of the day, one problem we just talked about, like if you exercise later, then your meals are later, then it can impact sleep. That's number one. If you don't eat, then you're hungry. That also doesn't let you sleep. So that's the other part. The third part is exercise, when done really well, releases a lot of endorphin. Okay. And even epinephrine. Which means it does not let you sleep. So if you really want, or if you're struggling with sleep, get the exercise in the first half of the day. It will help you stay awake, refreshed, happy, all of that stuff. But if you are okay, if this is not, and if the only time you get to exercise is in the evening, don't skip exercise just because, Dhaval said, oh, exercising
only in the morning.
In the morning.
Some people have energy which is better after they've eaten a
bit. So if you're like,
say
not an early morning person, you're a late night guy, working out at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. in the evening is pretty good.
And with all our stressful lives and jobs, etc. So essentially, do exercise. Is there something called too much exercise that impacts it negatively?
Absolutely.
Because your body's paining its own.
Yeah, so this is a rare condition to get in. Most people don't work out enough. We want people to go and do some exercise. But overtraining is the thing. But it's again rarity. Okay.
Agreed.
But some people, especially athletes, and more than athletes, amateur athletes or recreational athletes in our corporate world, somebody like fitness freak who we call them, they are actually at a risk of over exercising or stressing themselves too much because of extra exertion from exercise.
And that's not a regular state of being, so I can understand it sometimes or rarely.
So there's because you are into recreational mode, you're amateur. So one of the things what they don't have is real good quality support system. We don't understand that there are like 20-30 people work with Virat Kohli to keep him the way he is.
Yeah.
And then we try to be amateur athletes, and we think everything that we get from internet is
Yeah.
what we can implement, and we don't understand a lot of nitty-gritties of
Yeah.
it, and that leads to overtraining and burnout because
Yeah.
of training for some people.
Hmm.
So yeah, they are at a risk of overtraining, and that would impact sleep. Overtraining will not let you
But
sleep.
typically, good amount of exercise actually facilitates better sleep. It
Absolutely.
tires you optimally to actually engage in good sleep.
Exactly.
Right? Okay. So I want to talk about melatonin. I remember a friend telling me she's going through menopause, and she said, my gynecologist prescribed melatonin tablet because I would just never sleep. Now that's a very unique situation, but the role of melatonin is very important. It facilitates sleep. Obviously, it's very unique to sleep, right? My question is that we know there are certain things like caffeine that inhibit melatonin. You need to produce melatonin optimally. Is there anything that we should be thinking about in our habits that we can keep facilitating to produce it optimally as well?
Right. So thing that we already talked about, protein.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Which has tryptophan, which is a precursor to serotonin and melatonin. Which means you're giving your body enough raw material to produce that chemical. It's a neurotransmitter.
It has a direct impact, is it? Protein has a direct impact.
Because see, where do you get raw material to create hormones and neurotransmitters?
And the reason why I'm asking this and emphasizing it so much is because we're not a protein culture. We eat carbs with carbs, puri with aloo. It's so unique to India, right? That we don't get protein, and that's why so many other things get interrelated to, production of melatonin, I guess.
It's actually not unique to India. It's unique everywhere. Everybody eats carbs. Okay, like we know our food better.
Yeah.
Like I work with people from across the globe and from the country. Punjabi say, oh, because we are Punjabi, we are like this. Gujarati says we are Gujarati, we are like this. South Indians say I can't. It's like everybody has their own way of getting enough carbs.
Yeah.
But too much carbs, not enough.
Got it. Yeah.
So number one, yes, most people are protein deficient.
Okay.
Let's accept that fact. So yes, protein is required because protein has an amino acid called tryptophan, which is a precursor to serotonin and melatonin.
Got it.
So you've got to have or provide that raw material. So that's number one. Second thing is you need to understand how does the mechanism work.
Yeah.
Melatonin secretion, that gland, directly gets impacted because of light. So light in the dark circle.
Yeah.
You're expecting yourself to be exposed to blue light at 11 p.m. on your laptop, on your mobile, on your screen.
Yeah.
You're not letting natural melatonin formation, even if there is enough raw material.
Yeah.
So that is where when the sun goes down, your light intensity and color also has to go down.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of apps you get there which you can install on your phones, laptops, tablets, which actually mimics the the brightness and the color palette of the natural light.
Nice. Okay.
So as the evening goes by, like if you come and ever look at my laptop, after 7-8 p.m. you feel like it's too difficult to work on it.
Yeah.
Why?
But
because
dull so that your eyes
not just dull, the colors are like it looks bad. It doesn't look exciting and dynamic.
Got it. Yeah.
One, like it makes it difficult to work, and I want to make it difficult to work because I don't want to work.
Yeah.
Right? Plus, I don't want to expose myself to those tones and radiations of light, which will stop melatonin secretion and impact my sleep.
Yeah.
So you get tools for that. You get tools, especially if you have those, now Philips Hue and all this lighting with different color options. Your home light tones and things can also start changing automatically based on the time that you set in those.
So opposite to what they tell us in schools, right? They're like, you have to submit your assignment tomorrow, and then you're given it on that previous day. So the whole night the children are like, I don't know why society is just functioning against your human construct, right? The way you're made is actually opposite of how we've designed everything around us. It's so ironic, right? It's really sad because at a young age you're taught very poorly. Yeah.
And if not then burning midnight oil is
at work.
Corporate thing. Burning midnight oil is like thrown around cool thing everywhere to everybody.
But I think, like we discussed, slowly things are changing. People are not finding it very fascinating, right?
Like after a point, you realize, right, what you're losing because of that.
Yeah. So how long can you do it, right? And it's really, I hope things get better. I also sort of want to talk about emotional health and mental health. If you're not feeling good, and we really touched earlier upon stress levels, right? Stress does impact sleep. But what's the linkage between depression, those anxiety, those kind of conditions in relation to sleep at large?
Got it. So it's the depression and anxiety. There is relation to sleep, but I want to like make sure that people understand it's a
Yeah.
very complicated problem.
Yeah.
Only sleep is not going to fix it.
Mm.
Okay, even before we talk about it, but what relation does it have with sleep, and does sleep help? The answer is yes.
Mm.
Sleep does help, because what happens to our brain when we sleep is very, very important thing to understand. In our body, we have something called lymphatic nodes, which actually is a garbage collection system in one way. All the waste gets drawn, put it in the bloodstream, and then thrown out.
Okay.
Now, your brain does not allow blood to go inside. Okay, there's something called blood-brain barrier. Okay, so lymphatic system doesn't work here. How do you clean the metabolic waste that gets generated on daily basis? That only happens when you sleep. Number one. So if there is metabolic waste, which means what we call it as the neural connections, are not that effective. It's like your car which does not get service.
Sure.
Though it might have a good engine, but the mechanical parts are not oiled and lubricated well, it does not work. So one, the garbage collection helps, which helps better neural connection.
Sure.
Second thing is neuroplasticity, which means our ability to learn and develop new neural pathways in the brain.
Yeah.
It improves when you sleep. And when you talk about depression or anxiety, some of the things is people not able to give a different meaning to a situation.
Yeah.
To that situation, the meaning is always either negative or something stressful.
Yeah.
That's why they become anxious or depressed. Now, if you want to give a new meaning, what does it mean? It means you got to build new neural connection.
Right.
And the third thing that you need for that is neural transmitters like serotonin, GABA, all of these things. Now, all the neural transmitters are actually created or produced when you sleep. So, if you sleep enough with the other things that you need to take care of, depression and anxiety, you have better chances of taking care of.
Yeah, it's really even basic a good level stress, right? That you need to recover from, be it a sport or exam.
Even if this is stress, right?
Yeah.
See, we're talking.
Yeah.
You're asking me a question. I am asking you a question. You're thinking about what question. All of this is going to produce some kind of stress.
Yeah.
Now we are happy doing it, which means it's a good stress.
Yeah.
If this bogs me down or you down, then it is a bad stress.
Yeah.
If I don't know how to recover from that, then that stress leads to burnout.
Yeah.
This is how it is.
Got it. And the fundamental denominator between good and bad stress is that there are certain hormones and certain things that happen in your body which sleep facilitates. It helps you produce. Then your the thought process is cleaner, maybe more positive, and it helps you deal with your anxiety and your depression better.
So you are creating a better capacity to deal with it. It does not solve the problem, but at least increases my capacity to deal with it.
That's wonderful. And I hope it's really helpful for those who are feeling a little off, because I have always felt that sleep, and I told you before, right? I used to crash out for 8 hours, but I always got up feeling like when you just reflect on your life, you were able to take, at least I was able to take better decisions, more risk taking, deal with it, go through with it, and not feel depressed or anxious. But it has something to do with your habits, right? Fundamentally, daily life can be dealt with better through your habits. Old age, you mentioned, and it got me curious that the sleep patterns do change over time. So how can older people listening actually sort of plan for better sleep as well?
So see, again, one thing we got to understand, as we get older, all our organs and everything deteriorate. That's the process, because all of us are going to die one day, right? And that's the whole deterioration process. So sleep, so three things that happen. Number one, what we call it as sleep latency increases, which means once you go to bed and say, I close my eyes, You might be thinking like, oh, when I was young, I closed my eyes and I used to fall asleep immediately.
Yeah.
Now I toss, turn for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, sometimes even 1 hour before I sleep.
Yeah.
So this is called sleep
Hmm.
latency.
Hmm.
That increases with age.
Hmm.
Okay. Especially after 35, it starts to show up a lot more,
More.
even more. Second thing is wake onset after sleep.
Hmm.
So like the cycle of non-REM to REM and then again the same cycle. There are times you will actually wake up in the middle of the night, go
Yeah.
back to sleep again, but wake up. Instead of just remaining in the dream zone, you
Yeah.
actually come to awake and then go back to the whole cycle.
Sure.
So wake onset also increases.
Yeah.
And third, your deep sleep reduces.
Yeah.
These three things happen as we
Hmm.
age. Now, what does not change is it does not mean that you need less sleep. Sleeping is difficult now, but you still need those 7 to 9 hours range
Yeah.
that we talk about. You still need that range for that amount of sleep.
Hmm.
What you can do about it is again certain things that we already talked about. Staying away from the devices and the light.
And
30 to
older
60.
people, obviously, it's applicable for everyone. Right?
In fact, if you look at it, they are now more
I
glued to the
know,
devices
know.
than the younger. Because, like, see, people who are working still have to go to office, have to drive, have to do this. Retired people,
So true.
they actually have nothing to do.
Yeah.
In order to kill time. It's a good thing that they've got some entertainment, some way to keep themselves engaged. But that thing is screen. It's not that they're going and
Yeah.
talking to their friends in the park
More
or playing
isolated now,
tennis,
right?
all
Yeah.
of that, right?
Yeah.
So they are more glued to the devices than the middle-aged
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
So yes, staying away from the devices, like eating slightly early, keeping the room dark, cool, order free. So all those sleep hygiene things that we talked about,
Yeah.
still matter.
Hmm.
It's just that it's still going to be difficult for them.
Yeah.
That's the natural thing that
Process.
they've
Just
got.
to be aware, maybe that they have to deal with it can always help, because you also see a lot of older people complaining, feeling helpless, but it
Right.
need not be like that, right? They can actually gain awareness and then optimally plan for it as well. All right, I think that's been really fascinating and so
Sure.
rich in content. I loved listening. I do want to ask you if there are any quick, one or two relaxation techniques that people can take away to put themselves in the mode of sleeping. Any breathing exercises, anything that comes to your mind?
Right. So what breathing can help.
Yeah.
But again, it depends upon, as I said, all the other things.
Yeah.
Setting yourself up there. It's like shutting down the computer. I know keeping the same bedtime, darker places, cooler places, order free. This is the base that everybody has to have it. Journaling to shut down your brain
I love
is a very, very important thing. Once you have done that, then breathing can help. The simplest breathing technique is what we call it as box breathing.
Box breathing.
Box breathing.
Okay.
So it's like you breathe 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 seconds, hold 1, 2, 3, 4. You breathe out 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. So breathe in and breathe out in a box. Like go up, inhale, hold, exhale, hold. 4, 16-second cycle. So you do few of these. Like there are a lot of pranayams, lot of different breath work, but this is like simple that I can share. It's easy to do.
So if you're not getting sleep, try this.
Try this.
So there's because I love yoga so much. I've broadened my whole thought process. I was be like obsessed with yoga, and I'd be like completely saying no, just do that. And, but over time I've learned that there's so much in strength and conditioning and other forms as well to build your holistic strength. But there is one particular posture, just raising your against a wall. Just raise your lower part of your body up against the wall. So what happens is the optimal blood flow. That is
Viparit Karani.
Viparita Karani. So Viparita Karani always helps you move to a sleep mode very much more peaceful way when you're not getting sleep. So there are people who have done it in the middle of the night. They've done it, and it actually
right.
And there's another thing that I think in meditation they teach you, right? Your right part of the body is your sun energy, and your left part of the body is your moon energy. which is Ida and Pingala, right? So you take your left nostril, right? Your left part, left nostril. If you're not getting sleep, you actually breathe only through your left.
Okay.
And that also facilitates
Cool down. Okay.
Yeah, so it cools. Yeah, it's ultimately it's moving to parasympathetic, I think, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, move from your activity to your calm.
Non-active.
Yeah. So these are things that come to my mind as well. Is there anything else that people can?
I think it's more simple you keep.
Yeah.
Okay. Most people try to look for new things.
Yeah.
Like, see, I shared one, you shared two
Yeah.
or three things.
Yeah.
Now people will do one today, did not work, jump to next tomorrow, did not work, jump to next. And this is where nothing will work. If you pick up something, you do it consistently for a period of time.
Yeah.
Some 20, 30, 40, 60, even 90 days. Now it did not work.
Yeah.
You change. Right? But expecting that, anything is going to switch you into a sleep mode, it's not happening. It's a process. Like we talked about the adenosine based process. When the buildup happens, you feel sleepy. We talked about the circadian rhythm or light based process of melatonin. When the secretion increases, you sleep. So these are all the processes. What you got to do is you facilitate those processes in the best possible way. So you give yourself the best chance to be able to sleep. That's what you do. I
love that, because habit formation takes time for anything from money to sleep to hair care. Everyone is, unfortunately, we're in a world today where we want instant gratification, and there are hacks. If you see most of Instagram, unfortunately, it's like one thing you do, two things you do, and it's not very rich, because it doesn't work like that.
Exactly.
It takes time.
But the thing is, so this is the level that you got to reach.
Yeah.
Oh, I know now. There's one thing, two things, tips, tricks don't work.
Yeah.
Once I've come to that realization, now I'm listening to somebody for a longer, and then trying to understand, and then I will implement.
Yeah.
But see, any which ways anybody tells you this is a quick fix, the brain is designed to get tempted towards that, so you go there.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. So I have one final question for you, and so save your sleep for the weekend. What do you have to say about that?
Good and bad both.
Is it? Okay.
So number one, if you look at this, I could not sleep this whole week. So I'll try and catch up for sleep over a weekend. Now this is fine, because we have something called sleep debt that gets billed. Now if the debt gets billed, you also pay interest. In the money language, finance language, people will understand that.
Yeah.
So if you did not sleep for 2 hours today, so that 2 hours is a debt you build. So now that 2 hours, if you do it tomorrow, you have 1 day worth of interest.
Yeah.
If you do it after 5 days, you have 2 days worth of interest. If you do it after 10 days, you have 10 days worth of interest. Now that interest here, you don't pay by paying more sleep.
Yeah.
You actually end up by creating some damage internally in your health.
Sure.
That's how you pay the interest. Is it still better to pay the debt? Hell yes.
Okay.
However, the mindset, it's okay, let me stretch today, I will compensate for that over a weekend, is what we need to stay away from.
Yeah.
As much as I can, get it today. Okay? Today's job, today, done. Tomorrow, I will see. But under circumstances, we may not be, and that's fair. So we can catch up on it. It's okay. Please catch up if you can. But just because you can catch up does not mean you should and you have to.
Yeah. Wow. I think I'm just blown away with it's in a very simple way you've helped us understand so much so fast, right? So thank you so much for that. Particularly, I think there are a lot of ways. There's a lot of research on sleep, like defining sleep, 4 phases, 90 minutes. But I think you broke it up very, very nicely. And for me, that was the biggest takeaway. Now I understand why I need to sleep a little longer, so that I get to that state where I'm optimally refreshing all the memory aspects, all my creativity and getting up fresh as well, right?
Right.
So that's been one of my takeaways as well. Is there anything that I haven't asked you that our audience and listeners need to understand about the concept of sleep?
So not just concept of sleep, like we've talked about so
Yeah.
many things. If you're trying, you're seeing. The one thing that I would say is every individual is different.
Yeah.
And your experience with whatever we've discussed could be different.
Yeah.
So what you should be doing it is what we call it as outcome based decision making. As you said, I am now going to sleep longer. Now I want you to say, see what happens
Yeah.
if I do this
Yeah.
versus I wake up 2 hours earlier. As soon as I get into my dream zone, I wake up. How do I feel?
Yeah.
Where does it impact? So, bringing that mindfulness of being able to say, this was my sleep,
Mhm.
this is what the impact was. This was my sleep, this is what the impact was. Over a period of time, again and again, will give you personal data, because any damn research under the sun happens with a particular set of subjects in a particular condition which may not apply to you, or you could be a statistical outlier, as every research has.
Yeah.
Right? So don't try to take anything as written in stone. Take it, as we talked about, implement it for 30, 40, 50 days or 90
Yeah.
days, and then take a decision. Oh wow, this was amazing, or like, hell, didn't work.
Sure.
Fair. Some
Sure.
things may not.
Yeah.
Like some people can sip coffee and go to sleep.
Go to sleep like
Right.
my mother does that, and I'm like, how are you having tea in the night? No,
I
love it.
can't. I can't. So I would say, okay,
It's
not
a
me.
genetic minority, right?
Right.
So,
So you're genetic minority, outlier.
yeah, yeah. No, it's been truly wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for bringing such rich content. I have been trying to sort of find the right person, in all honesty, to come and talk about sleep. It's not too scientific what you made it. It's not too simple. Also, so there's a great balance, and I think that was really, really useful. So people need to know the functioning of their body, how actually they also have habits they can develop, which you've shared a lot. So I'm very certain this will be helpful for our listeners.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, and I hope you enjoyed it as well, Dhaval.
Absolutely. Thank you. And hope,
Great.
I've tried to make it as simple as possible, as my coaches keep telling me.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, if you find it simple, implementable,
Yeah.
the best thing.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.